What I've got here is one of my side projects. Circuit board action. Over here we've got our scale. I'm doing this in my living room, so there's going to be an occasional animal or two. That's this one over here chasing fish. Sweetie pie! What are you eating? What are you doing? Alrighty then. Mainly these are going to come out of computers, is the ones I deal with. I got a couple torn up laptops here. I got a tote. I've just been throwing stuff in for a while. I have a lot more of these down in my storage unit. I have a couple stacks of PC towers I need to get to, but this is going to be enough for one load right here. So if you find a PC tower or a laptop computer, there's going to be all kinds of circuit boards in here. The big one on bottom is a motherboard. It's going to have hard drive boards that you can take out of there. There's a couple CD drives in this one. Little Goldfinger cards here. This one's actually got 4 of them, so that's nice. It's got 3 RAM sticks. But basically all you need to do is just take a screwdriver and take all that stuff out of there. Sometimes they'll have safety screws. This one has all just normal screws, so that'll be real easy. That's where these have come from. That's a motherboard right there. I think that was a gaming computer. You can sell the RAM sticks online, and under here is the CPU chip. Let's see if I can find one of those in here real quick. Like this one here. You can sell that, the CPU chips, and these RAM sticks, like this one. You can sell those 2 types on eBay very easily. From what I gather, there's really not a whole lot that can be wrong with them. That's 512 megabytes. Some are going to be a lot more valuable than others, but if I were selling them on eBay, I would just list them as parts or repair. But I'm not going to deal with that in this video. I'm just going to stick to just scrapping them, sending them off to boardsort.com. Grizz, you're going to be more trouble, huh? Go away, baby. Go away. I looked at these laptops right before I got here. Right before I started the video. And this one actually, this HP model 15-R029WM. It's actually listed on eBay for starting at $200 in working condition. So I can list that one for parts or repair on eBay and make a lot more money than scrap. So I'm not gonna do that. I don't mind scrapping stuff, but I'm not gonna take a terrible loss. These 2 computers here are beat up pretty good, and for parts or repair on eBay, they would sell, I might make $10 profit off both, maybe $15 profit for both. Because of shipping on eBay, I'd have to pay separately, and that would be like $20 shipping almost on those dogs. Plus I'd pay selling fees. So I'm just gonna send these to board sort in this shipment. I can send, I think it's a 70-pound package to board sort for $40 FedEx ground. Board sort's in Alliance, Ohio. I think it's a suburb of Columbus. And I'll show you that website here in a minute. First I want to show you all these things. These are nice little CPUs. What we're dealing with here is gold plate. One thing you want to make sure to do is always take out all these batteries. You have to take these batteries out of every motherboard. Don't forget to do that. Those could cause problems for them. Also, these are very dangerous for animals. You don't want your dog or nothing swallowing that, or a child swallowing that. That could be very bad. So always keep track of those dudes. You could also sell, I mean, a lot of this stuff on eBay, these motherboards and stuff. People will buy them. I just don't have the technical ability to tell you if they're working or not. I don't know how to test them out or anything like that. So I don't know how to do any stuff like that. Before I send these to BoardSort, I'll take off these heat sinks and stuff. Those appear to be copper ones. And down here, there's some aluminum and copper. That must have been an expensive computer there. That's a fairly stacked up cooling unit. On top of that CPU chip, it's got a little ACR, like would be in an air conditioner kind of type deal. That's what that is. See the copper tubes going through the aluminum. And it's also got a fan, so that was probably a high-powered guy. It's been a while since I looked in here. I think I saw Xbox in here. I'm gonna have to get that out. But I've got, let's see what we're dealing with. A lot of cell phones in here. And a knife. I had this sitting by my door, so I was throwing a little scabble in there, some ink tanks. Some nice controllers in there, actually. Get those out of there. Another reason why I'm not going to bother selling this kind of stuff on eBay right now, anyways, is because I just got to get rid of stuff. I've just been building stuff up. I got PlayStation, PS3, popping out here, and Xboxes. I just want to get rid of stuff. I'm just all cramped up. Another controller. Packing tape I found one day. Put that to use. Let's see. Hopefully there's not a bunch of dirt in there. Another knife. Bunch of little CPU chips I've been throwing in there. See, one thing about selling these on eBay is I'm no pro with this kind of stuff, electronic stuff, but you want to be careful how you handle it. You don't want to get dirt and static. I don't know exactly what you want to do, but you definitely don't want to just throw them into a box like that. See how the little prongs are getting bent. You want to be real careful how you handle it for sure. Once you start throwing them around, they're just scrap at that point, I'm pretty sure. When I first started doing this, well, not even when I first started, for the first 8 years I did this, I was scrapping these PC towers just for the price of 10 at the scrapyard. And I had no idea that these were worth that much money. If you took the boards out of there at the scrapyards where I live, you'd get e-waste price, which is like 2 cents a pound, give or take, up or down a penny. Or at best, tin shred, which would be like 5 to 8 or 9 cents a pound over the years. Even lower, 3 cents a pound for tin. So you can imagine what I thought when I finally figured out, when I found a bag of partially dismantled cell phones one day. This is actually how I kind of first came to YouTube, was when I found these cell phone bags of cell phone boards and phones and whatnot. And I wondered what the person was doing, so I looked it up, and I found some eBay video, or found some YouTube videos, and I started looking into it. And actually, the first YouTube video I ever watched, I think, was extremely misleading. I know some people have had a problem with my videos when I discuss taking stuff apart by hand, how it's not profitable. And a lot of that has to do with the first video I watched about these cell phones, was someone claiming they're extremely valuable if you take them apart. And it's just not true. As far as sending them to like boardsort.com, these phones are going to be $3.75 a pound without the battery, just like that. And if you take the time to get little screwdrivers and take this apart and take out that little tiny circuit board, The circuit boards are $9 a pound, but they weigh almost nothing. So the whole phone is $3.75 a pound. So just no labor, you know. Just send the whole, take the battery out, send the whole phone is how I do it. And then I got to realizing these RAM sticks, they're $15.75 a pound. I was selling them for like 2 to 9 cents a pound in my tin and e-waste. So you can imagine, there goes one of my cats. So you can imagine how awesome I thought this was when I first found it. And like these are like $4 to $125 a pound, depending on what kind I got. These with the metal backs are fairly cheap ones. I think they're the $4 variety. I don't know, the ones that don't have the legs, this one, that's the cheapest one you can get right there. I'm pretty sure. Metal on the back, and there's actually no legs. I don't know if you can see that. It's just like a gold plate or a gold flashing or something. See, there's no legs whatsoever. I don't know how the camera can pick that up, but like these ones got the actual legs, the actual gold plated legs. I apologize for the dog and cats in the background. What are you doing? What are you doing? What? What is it? Is something out there? You better go check and see what it is. No, I know. We got a mess. I'm trying to get rid of it. Okay, I'm trying to. So what I'm gonna do off camera is I'm gonna sort all these out. The motherboards and the cell phone and the gold finger cards and the CPUs, and see what else we got laying in here. I'm gonna get it all organized and show it to you. And then I got my handy dandy scale over here. This is an awesome scale. It's just a unit by itself. You don't have to plug it in or nothing. It just runs off batteries. I usually have it hanging on my wall at Velcro. I have it down here for now. It's called the Transformer scale. It's awesome. It weighs up to 300 pounds. And I wouldn't recommend this to anyone out there if I didn't just think it was a good product. It weighs about 15 pounds, so no cat or dog's gonna push it around. Although you do want to keep it up on a desk, up on the wall, to keep that cord away from a dog, I suppose. But I'll put the link to this scale down in the description if you want to check it out. It's like 70, 80 bucks, but it's well worth it. You can weigh scrap metal, and it's also, I mean, it's postal scale. You can weigh all your shipping packages. It doesn't weigh under 3 ounces, so, but that's not that big of a deal. So you can imagine when I found out the value of this stuff, how wonderful of a deal this was compared to how I was selling them at scrap yards. I mean, you can make more money selling some of this stuff on eBay, for sure. I mean, I'm not gonna go completely stupid. I'm gonna sell the good stuff. I just pulled this camcorder out of there too. But as far as these circuit boards and stuff, these are like $1.50 a pound, $2 a pound, depending on the size of them. I'll get into that later. But you know, I was throwing these in my tin for 5 to 8 cents a pound when they're $3.75 a pound. So looking at it from that perspective, from just a straight scrapper's perspective, that's just an awesome deal to be able to have a place where you can sell this stuff to. As long as you're in the United States, you can send this stuff to this place. There's other places out there too that might be closer to you. You might be able to save shipping. I know Board Sort, if you live around Columbus, Ohio, you can take it directly to their place, to the brick and mortar shop, and you don't have to pay any shipping. So that's more money in your pocket. Like I say, I'd save $40 if I could go down the street right now and give this to them. But there's a lot of people out there that don't want to sell on eBay or can't sell on eBay or just don't sell on eBay. And so for those people out there, this is a wonderful deal. You know, you don't have to list it. You don't have to research it and figure out what it's all about. Although if you do come across like Apple phones, you want to hold those back. And when you find laptops, of course, you want to run them through eBay or the internet and see if they got some decent value to them. Because, I mean, scrapping's cool, but I might get $80 for an iPhone, you know, so, or $30 or $20 or whatever it brings at auction. But anyways, so that's what this video is about. I know when I've touched on this subject before, people will be like, oh man, you can sell that stuff on eBay. And yeah, you can, but that's not this video. This video is just going to be for people that just want to put it all in one box and be done with it, you know. One thing I should say though is you gotta watch out for these CPU chips. They'll be like, I think they're like the ceramic ones, the older ones. Some of them can be like worth $100 just one by itself. It'll be from the really old computers from the 80s and before and whatnot. Anytime you get a computer, a PC tower that doesn't look modern, you always want to make sure what kind of chips are coming out of there, because just collectors alone will buy that stuff on eBay. But as far as recent technology, in the last 20, 25 years, a lot of it's very well scrappable, you know. It turns out a butter knife is actually an excellent tool for this. Be careful with the batteries. I just popped this one out here with the knife, and it came out of there so fast it went by my ear buzzing. Found an iPod in there. I'm gonna try to sell that. Parts to repair on eBay. It's 32 gigabytes. So it should have some value. I'll find out. I don't know if you can send iPods and like the little camcorder. I don't know if you can throw those in your circuit board, your cell phone lots or not. You probably could, I suppose, but that Apple stuff I've learned is good to sell on eBay almost no matter what it is. Parts to repair. There's a little BlackBerry. There's another iPhone. That was all tore up though. That's pretty bad. That probably would sell on eBay. It wouldn't get a whole lot, but even that would probably sell. So that's actually aluminum. Just looked like copper. That one is also aluminum. I don't know enough about these circuit boards. If under that heat sink, is there some kind of secondary CPU in it or something? Usually when there's a heat sink, it's a CPU. I don't know, maybe there's some other kind of chip. A lot of folks out there have a lot of experience, if they could tell us what that is. Some kind of chip stuck on there. I'm real interested to see the CPU under this chunky cooling unit. Huh, that doesn't even have legs on it. So that's a real cheap CPU as far as scrap value. It might be technologically high performance, but it's just one of those. It's actually about the cheapest CPU there is for scrap. It's kind of a bummer. There's actually some little legs on there. You might want to take a look at selling that on eBay if you want. This stuff, these heat sinks, Board Sort will buy this, but I can get the same price pretty much at a local scrapyard. I can get a clean ACR for that, so that's almost $1 by itself right there. There's no sense shipping it away if I can just throw it in with my aluminum at the scrapyard. If I could just drive down the street to Board Sort, I would take it to them. There's no sense in making a package any heavier than I have to. Now we're cooking. Get these rams out of here. Those are interesting. Pretty sure that was a gaming computer. Might take a look at selling those on eBay. I'll probably just scrap them. Get the battery out of there. Oh, I missed one. Look at that one sitting on the side. Sneaky little guy. I'm gonna take this thing apart now. PC towers is where all this other stuff came from, for the most part, with the exception of cell phones. I do have one laptop hard drive in there. Everything else is out of towers. This is the hard drive right here. The thing I like most about PC towers is that they're super easy to take apart. The worst thing you can run into is safety screws. There's the hard drive right there. You can take that hard drive board off of there, but I noticed on the Board Sort site, which I'll show here in a minute, these boards are really lightweight, so it almost makes sense just to leave it on there. That doesn't even have safety screws, actually. You can take those off there if you want. Little CD drives over here. The CD drives, it makes more sense as far as Board Sort's concerned to take the boards out of them, because the CD drive is only 16 cents a pound whole, and that's really low. I can't remember the exact price on the hard drive whole price, but it's a lot higher. It's kind of like the cell phone situation, where the board is $9 a pound and the phone's $3.75 a pound. I'm not so sure you don't lose money by taking the board out, because those boards don't weigh anything compared to the phones. That's just something you can decide for yourself how you want to do it. Usually those CD drives will just pull right out of there. It's being stubborn. What are we dealing with here? I'm missing a catch somewhere. No, I'm not. Oh, it's got screws on the other side. Let's see if that did the trick. CD drives. There we go. I have a whole tote full of these down in my storage unit that I'm gonna take apart one day, so I'm not gonna mess with those right now. The last part of this video, I'm gonna show the board sort site and all the prices for these. The gold finger cards, which I'm going after now, are a nice little gem in the circuit board world. And you can see how easy this is. I mean, I'm just doing it one-handed with a slippery driver. There's actually a fifth one in there I didn't even see. A little tiny one over here in the corner hiding in the shadows. Look at that little guy. Little baby. That's not a Goldfinger card. I don't know what that is. They call them Goldfingers because the gold-plated stuff right there. It's nice. It's got 4 of them in there. Nice ones. Another thing about these is you can just leave the metal. They buy them. The price they give is for the metal stuck to them, so that's nice. You wouldn't want to take that metal off because they don't have a category for just the card. The category is with the metal, so don't take the metal off. The metal weighs more than the board itself, so. And then there's some scabble wire. I'll just take this to the scrapyard. Board Sort buys the power box, the power supply. I'll show that here in a minute. I'm not going to put it in my shipment box because it doesn't really make sense to increase the weight of my box with those guys. There's probably a correct way to take these off, but I'm just a smasher and a trasher for the most part. And I've always just gripped them like that and yanked them off of there, bending them and breaking them. That's just an aluminum heat sink. I'll take that to my own scrapyard. There's one more CPU in here. Let's see what we're dealing with. It's always kind of fun. You don't know what you're ever going to get. That's a nice one. Look at the big long legs on that one. That's a long-legged one there. It does see how it doesn't have the metal on the back. That makes it more valuable. Of course, because the metal has a lot more weight. But so the ones with metal backs, I said they're not the most valuable, but I mean, considering it weighs a lot more than the circuit board, I suppose it's about the same. But that one is actually I think that's actually a ceramic one there. Yeah, that's a ceramic CPU there. So that's the first one of those. That might be the only one of those I have in this lot. The rest of them are the green fiber boards, they call them. There'll be like a green fiber board, brown fiber board, ceramic. That's gonna be the most expensive one right there. I think. We'll have a look at it here in a second. Okay, what else we got in here? There's another, I didn't even see that guy in there. Another hard drive? What is it? I think that's a floppy disk. I think it's a floppy disk drive on that sucker. Hey, you know what? This might have been an older computer. You know what? I just now realized that. I don't think modern computers will be dealing with 3.5-inch floppy drive. Am I wrong, guys? Ladies? What do you think? Is that what that is? It's like I said earlier in the video, if you run into something that's not looking real modern, you always want to check it out. That thing's actually screwed in back there through a hole. I bet the guys on the factory line loved that. That's actually the first floppy drive I've ever scrapped out. It's interesting. I'm saying floppy drive. What do I mean? 3.5-inch disk drive, whatever it's called. Hey, look, there's one in there actually. Look at that. 720 kilobytes. 1986, 1993. Shoot, I'm sitting here talking about old computers. I had one sitting right in front of my face. I don't know a lot about computers, and that's kind of a good thing in this video. I mean, you don't have to know anything about anything to do what I'm doing right here. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I guess that's going to be probably a CD drive type board. I wonder what's on that disc. Better throw that in the garbage, huh? If you want to know more about this type of stuff, go to E-Waste Ben's channel. He's on Australia, and he does this for a living, as far as I know. There's another battery. Oh, that just hit me right between the eyes. Sheesh. I don't know if he does it for a living or not for sure, but he does it on a large scale, and he has an e-waste business, so his channel would be the one that you want to check out if you want to know more about this stuff. Okay, got all the screws out. Now the wires. Okay, there it is. Now we're cooking. I'm gonna take the little fan off of there. Let's see what's underneath this heat sink. It's gonna be another one of those chip things that are stuck into the board, you know. That might be worth some money right there. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, all these little chips on here are worth money, and like these gold-plated pins, they're worth money, and little pieces of copper and little pieces of aluminum and more little chips over here. Everything on here is basically worth money. And what I'm doing here is I'm sending the whole thing to a professional outfit, and what they do is they'll take all this little stuff, all the little gold pins and all the little chips, and they'll process it and recycle it. There's more gold-plated stuff down in there, it looks like. I don't know if they've got machinery that they just throw this into or what. It might be a lot faster than doing it by hand. Doing it by hand, this kind of stuff, these little tiny things, to me seems really monotonous, and I just would rather do something else. But that's just me, you know. There's people out there that enjoy that kind of stuff. For those of you that do that kind of stuff, if you could tell us in the comments what I'm looking at right there and what its value might be. Hopefully you can make out the numbers and stuff on there. so the rest of us can read your comments. Tell us the value of some of this stuff on here. Like I said, that was an older board, so anyways, that's it. I'm just gonna cut the wires out of here and take the rest of this to the scrapyard. My local scrapyard, that is. I didn't break the fish aquarium, so that's good. One important thing to do for boardsort.com is they want you to have it all organized and separated. So when they receive it, they can just blow through it, you know, RAM chips, CPUs, the different kinds of CPUs, Goldfinger cards, cell phone category, hard drives, and there's different sizes of these that you need to separate them into. See how that one's bigger than that one, and that one's bigger than some of these other ones, and this one has a metal casing, so that's its own category. So I need to categorize these and separate them. One of their instructions is to tape over any open terminals. This is kind of a funky little battery. It's got a little hologram on there. I suppose that's to prove it's authentic, not some knockoff. Another one of their instructions is you have to measure these sockets. Anything 1 3/4 inch or bigger is a category. A metal socket, like I said earlier, is a category. The rest of them are going to be considered small sockets, although there's categories for green boards and colored boards. That's a metal socket colored board. So their directions are pretty clear, and as long as you follow them and categorize everything and bundle it up the way they want it, you'll get paid really quick. I think if you just throw everything in a box without separating it, that's when you'll have a delay in your payment. So if you want your money fast, do this. Separate it all out. Now for the fun part, turn the scale on. Hard drive with boards. I could take the boards off those hard drives, but it's 55 cents a pound with those big chunky hard drives connected to the boards. 4 pounds, 5 ounces. So at 55 cents a pound, that's $2.37. I'm just gonna stick that right on there like that. It doesn't have to be pretty. This is just scrap. A little bundle of gold ram sticks. 13 ounces. $15.25 a pound by 13 ounces for a total of $12.39. Lithium ion cell phone batteries. 1 pound, 11 ounces. 75 cents a pound. 1 pound, 11 ounces for $1.27. This is the gold fingered cards. 1 pound, 15 ounces. $3.30 a pound. 1 pound, 15 ounces for $6.39. And this is all being recorded on their website. I'm entering all this data into their website as I do this. So they're going to have a ticket before this package even shows up. And so they'll have it on hand when this shows up, and then they'll just look at all this. They'll be like, yeah, that's right. Cell phones without batteries. 7 pounds, 11 ounces. $28.83 on the cell phones. This is just some of the stuff I have. I have a bunch more. I'm just making a video out of this. If you've seen my videos, now you understand why I grab a cell phone and say it's worth about $1 or so. There it is. These are called green fiber metal top CPU chips. 6.5 ounces. Those are $2.44. Not a whole lot, but I mean, it's only 5 of them. So what's that? It's about 50 cents a pop on those guys. These other ones I had are different categories. These are 3 different categories, and they're really not enough to weigh. I suppose these metal back ones, these are the no-legged ones. They might weigh. Let's see. No, they don't weigh. I'm just gonna hold those back and send them with my next shipment. Okay, let's get these laptops in action here. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Oh, heavy dudes. 12 pounds, 1.5 ounce. Okay, so at $1.30 a pound, that's $15.72. Just scrap value on those guys. And that's about the same profit, maybe even more than I would get if I sold them on eBay for parts for repair. When all said and done. Large socket motherboard action. That one's broken. I can get a better picture. That's what they are right there. Bigger than 1 3/4 inch. Let's see what we're dealing with. 3 pounds, 7 ounces. So at $2.80 a pound, those 3 motherboards are $9.62. And can you imagine, I mean, if you had a local place that would buy them for that amount? The scrap yards where I live, like I said earlier, for 8 years, I sold these from like 1 and 2 cents for e-waste to 5 to 9 cents for tin. So we had 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds at maximum 9 cents. And I was talking about 27 cents, 7 ounces, 30 cents. I was selling these for 8 years for 30 cents. So you can imagine, to a scrapper, this could be great information. Those 3 motherboards, $9.62. So I just wrapped them in tape like that real quick. Watch out, guys! Okay, metal socket board, motherboard, colored, metal socket, colored motherboard. 1 pound, 6.5 ounce, 1 pound, 7 ounce, 1 pound, 6.5 ounce. Okay, so this one cheap little board is $1.90 by itself. $1.35 a pound. So to some folks out there, this could be quite a revelation, you know. I mean, if you've been throwing this in your tin pile, and all of a sudden you realize that one stupid little board is $1.90. I mean, you know. This shipment's not going to be as big as I thought, so I'm probably looking at maybe $30 to $35 on FedEx ground, give or take, maybe. These are the small socket green boards, 3 pounds even. So those little 3 boards are worth $4.95. If you do this, don't take off the metal chunks that weigh a lot, because this is what they want. This is what's worth $1.65 a pound. I was just taking the aluminum heat sinks and stuff off because I can sell those at my own scrapyard for the same money. Okay, what do we got left here? We've got the small socket colored boards. Let's see how they're not green. I don't know what difference that makes in the circuit board world, but I'm just following their directions. Anything that's not green they call colored. Anything under 1 3/4 inch they call small socket. So we'll see what that is. 5 pounds, 3.5 ounce. Let's see if that's still gonna hold it. Let's see. 5 pounds, 3.5 ounce. So those 4 cheap boards, $7.05. That's gonna be the shipment right there. I'm gonna go get a box, fill it up. I think laptops go in the bottom. Let's see how that works. Put these guys here. Here. There's cell phones. Ah, dang it. Like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be pretty. Want the heavy stuff on the bottom, of course. Hard drive platters are heavy. Put those guys down here. Down there. There you go. That'll do it. What do you think about that? Oh, hold on a second. Let's get these guys down there. Okay, that'll do it. That will do it. I forgot to mention, before you do any of this, you want to make an account at boardsort.com and have a PayPal account. You don't need a PayPal account. They can send you a check, but it's just faster if you have PayPal. So you'll set up an account and give them your PayPal email and whatnot. I forgot to mention that part. Here's my final shipment. I had 11 categories, and it lists it all out here. As I was making this video, I was entering that data into their little website. It's pretty smooth. Total weight 42 pounds. Total payout $92.93. I'll probably pay $30, $35 shipping, maybe thereabouts, roughly. The closer you live to this place, of course, shipping is going to cost less. If you live around Columbus, Ohio, then there is no shipping. It's pure profit because you can just take it there. But, I'm making maybe $62, $63. Just make sure you follow all their directions. You have to print this out. As long as you follow all the directions, they should have your money to you within a week. 3 to 5 days after they receive the payment. There goes my printer. Done deal. Slip that little dude right in there like so. Those angelfish I bought are growing super fast. They're the most aggressive eaters I've ever seen in my tank. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks for watching. Is it over with? It's all over? Now we can go sit down together? Okay.